Good morning, church family. Today and tomorrow, we turn to Psalms 42 and 43, which we'll see very quickly make a pair. Psalm 42 is an amazing picture of someone who's in spiritual depression and maybe even medical depression. Let's turn to the psalm and see what we find. Psalm 42 is chock full of imagery that those of us who have wrestled with depression in various ways will recognize. The poet starts with the image of a deer, but not just a thirsty deer, a deer that's dying for water, and compares that image to what it is for us to thirst for God in our souls. Listen to the first 4 verses. As a deer pants for flowing streams, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before God? My tears have been my food day and night, while they say to me all day long, where is your God? These things I remember as I pour out my soul, how I used to go with the throng and lead them in procession to the house of God, with glad shouts and songs of praise, a multitude keeping festival. So we notice some things right off in verses 1 to 4. The image is of a deer, but it's a deer that's dying for water, just like our souls feel like they're dying for God, like they are dried out and parched. By verse 3, we realize this person's not sleeping right. They cry all day and all night. And others seem to taunt them. They said, hey, you believed in God. Well, where is he? He doesn't seem to be helping you now. And then in verse 4, we get hints that this person is not just somebody. This person has been effectively a worship leader. He says, I remember how I used to go with the throng, the set of people, and lead them as they went to the temple. He talks about how he had glad shouts, songs of praise, a bunch of people together keeping the festival for God, but that's now all gone. And so in verse 5, you get the beginning of a refrain that happens again and again through Psalm 42 and 3. It's as if the poet's arguing with himself. We often use the phrase, preach the gospel to yourself every day. Well, the poet's trying, but it just doesn't seem like it's working. So he says, why are you cast down, O my soul? Why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God. But as quickly as he says it, the depression comes right back. My soul is cast down within me, therefore I remember you from the land of Jordan and of Hermon and from Mount Mizar. Deep calls to deep at the roar of your waterfalls. All your breakers and your waves have gone over me. By day the Lord commands his steadfast love. At night his song is with me, a prayer to the God of my life. I say to God, my rock, why have you forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? So the spiritual depression comes right back. All the places that are mentioned in verse 6, what's similar among them is that they are far from God geographically. They are far away from Jerusalem, from the temple. Verse 7, it's like I'm in the ocean, and every time I stand up, another wave knocks me right back down. And the poet starts to come out of it in verse 8. He says, I know God's with me, but then right again it overwhelms him. In verse 9 he says, God, why have you forgotten me? Verse 10, as with a deadly wound in my bones, my adversaries taunt me, while they say to me all the day long, where is your God? The poet says, it's like I've got a bone sickness that won't go away. This is deep inside me and I can't root it out. And so he tries again, verse 11, why are you cast down, O my soul, and why are you in turmoil within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him, my salvation and my God. Church family, that's an amazing picture of where we often get as we feel like our prayers are bouncing off the ceiling, as we feel the waves of despair or discouragement just flowing over us. But here's the great news. Psalm 42 isn't the end of the story. Psalm 43 matches it. And when we get to Psalm 43, we'll see something amazing. We'll see you tomorrow.